Hey everybody, Burton here with PropStream with another episode of PropStream Pro Series. And today I have a very, very special guest with me. He goes by the name of Tyrone Taylor, but most of you guys may know him as Flip Man. Flip Man, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. What about you, Burton?
I'm doing well. For those that are watching this, right now we're obviously going through a quarantine phase due to the COVID, but for the last 2 months we've been kind of buckled in our household here, but I've been good. How about yourself? You guys staying safe and healthy?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So far so good. I guess close. That's close to me anyway. So
There you go. Well, before we begin, one thing I've noticed is you've done a lot of, interviews with a lot of companies and other channels out there. And so what I want to kind of do differently is I think we kind of get lost a little bit by taking advantage of your knowledge and your experience in real estate that we kind of forget who you are as a person. And so what I like to focus on the next few minutes is just learn who you are, right? So if you don't mind, maybe a minute or two, just kind of telling us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
well, I'm located here in Birmingham, Alabama. I've been here since 1990. I came here to go to college, and um, I've been here ever since. So all of my adult life, I've been here in Birmingham. But I'm from a small town south of in South Alabama. It's about 3 hours from here. Town I grew up in is less than 1,000 people, but that's where 95% of my relatives are. Especially on my father's side. But fast forward, went to college, graduated from University of Alabama, Birmingham, aka UAB. With a degree in history, never used it. Just got a degree to put a smile on my mom's face. Early on in my college career, I figured out that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't grow up knowing anything about entrepreneurship. It's just a bug that eventually hit me at some point early in my 20s. Tried a lot of different things, never really made any money at anything until I was introduced to creative ways of making money with real estate without using your cash or credit. And wholesaling is what stuck to me. So started doing that was introduced to it in late 2002 and actually got educated myself by buying a course, a bootleg course of a really good course for $400, best $400 investment I ever made back in early 2003. Did my first deal early March of 2003, and that's 17 years ago in the game. So quit my full-time job that I had at that time in May 1st of 2006. So I've been full-time at it since May of 2006. So the Flip Man stuff came about. I'm a very boring person and had a lot of time. I don't really go a lot of places. So I spent a lot of time when I was introduced to the internet back in 99. I bought a computer, I think maybe in 99 or 2000, and just dove into this thing, the internet, which is what we're doing right now. And so when the real estate thing came along, and I still am just always intrigued and just amazed that people will spend money that don't even know you from all over the world because of the internet. So basically, I meshed my knowledge of the internet with this character to eventually become the Flip Man or whatever. And so that's why we're speaking now. So,
Hey, that's amazing. And it's just really interesting to see how the seeds that were planted many, many years ago have led to this very moment where and for me, I look up to you. I've learned a lot. I've actually gone on your YouTube and learned quite a bit of real estate information from you and strategies from you. So I really appreciate you sharing that. If you don't mind me asking, before the real estate, what was it that you were doing?
I worked at Bell South and the collections department. I was the individual. If you had questions about your bill, your telephone bill, or you want to make arrangements on your bill, I was one of the people you would speak to. So I basically was a customer service rep for billing for Bell South, which is now a part of AT&T. AT&T bought them out several years ago. So.
Now, when I think collectors, I think cold callers? Are you
No,
one of
no,
the,
no,
are
no,
you the
no,
one
no,
that we're cold calling?
no, 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 no. These are incoming calls. I couldn't have been successful at that. I'm terrible at sales.
Right.
But that's really not
Okay.
sales, but you have to be aggressive. I'd have been terrible at that. No, they're calling you, they wanting you to assist them with their bill. And part of my job was obviously to make arrangements on the bill, but ironically to upsell them more products that they already couldn't afford because they wouldn't be calling and making arrangements. So that was part of the job. So, but I did that from on and off from 98 to '06 or whatever, because I did quit in February, I think, of 2001. Got back there in June of 2002. So that was a little separation there for a moment. So.
All right. So it looks like you've just always been a person at heart who's just been a problem solver. Not only were you solving people with their bills back then and their financial issues, but it sounds like to this very day you're solving people except in the realm of real estate, and that is just amazing. And there's one thing I did tell our audience, that I was going to make this interview very unique. You've done several of them in the past, and you're still going to do more. So just to kind of spice things up a little bit, want to make sure that this is definitely unique. So, and hey, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Is there one thing that you'd like to share with us and our audience that no one knows about, like a special talent, anything that you can think of that, people would love to know about you that you just haven't been able to share with them?
I don't know if it was a special talent. I was thinking about that. I said, man, I don't have nothing to share. But I guess what you probably wouldn't know, and it's really not that important in the scheme of things, but I haven't July, I think it was July 4th, 2014, I haven't eaten any chicken, pork, or beef since then. Now I'm still fat as hell, but so technically, I guess what there's a pescatarian, as they call it, or whatever. And so you wouldn't probably think that. I don't drink, never really have. Definitely no drugs or anything. I don't know if that's interesting, but that's
No, that is.
um,
And I will say that it does definitely take a strong will to do exactly what you're doing. Like, hey, look, I love chicken, right? Chick-fil-A's, I am there every day except for Sunday because they're not open. But no, I mean, just to be able to, and if you don't mind me asking, was it like just a cold turkey thing, or one day you just
Oh
woke?
yeah, it was a cold turkey thing. That was July 4th. It was on a Friday, I think, 2014. One of my friends invited me over to his house for, I guess what he called a barbecue. Well, I guess it was. It just, I got there so early. And we ate or whatever, what we normally ribs and all that kind of stuff. And so he his son at the time, I think Ethan may have been, if he's 15 now, 16 now, he was probably maybe 8 or 9 then. So we went outside to play basketball. We wasn't playing basketball. We were just shooting, and I was exhausted. And so I just said, you know what? I said, I'm just going to do something just different. I said, I'm not going to eat any more chicken, pork, or beef. I can't give up seafood or whatever. And so so I stopped, and it's not a struggle anymore by no means, but you walk into certain stores and or pass by certain restaurants, you can just smell, this fried chicken or hamburgers cooking or barbecue, just passing by a barbecue joint or whatever. So my problem is the other things, the sweets. So if I can give up those, I could probably accomplish some of my actual physical goals or whatever. But I'm always trying. I go back and forth. So,
Hey, I'm
but
not going to
that's
judge
why.
you there because
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm a sucker to sweets. It's like literally my kryptonite. Hence why I wear a lot of black. It kind of conceals the extra layers a little
Oh,
bit.
man. He probably weigh 130 pounds.
But I really appreciate you sharing that. I mean, and again, I just want everybody to understand that, there is another person on the other end of this interview. And so I really, really appreciate that. So from what you've shared so far, it looks like you've been part of the real estate industry for a very long time. And that's going to be great because it is going to transition into the next segment, which is going to just essentially me picking at your brain because of just the vast knowledge of real estate that you have. And so, based on what you've told me, and you've been in the real estate for quite some time now, and what we're experiencing now is technically unprecedented, right? No one's expected this pandemic to shut down the economy, shut down essentially people from their day-to-day activity. So what I like to kind of pick at your brain a little bit is that it seems as you've actually kind of been through a situation. It seems as you've experienced the meltdown back in '08, and now here we are in 2020, where it's not necessarily similar, but I'm sure there are some sort of indications of similarities. And so that's kind of what I want to focus on. So first and foremost, if you don't mind me asking, what strategies, you did mention wholesaling is your thing. Are there any other strategies that you also implement in your real estate business?
Wholesaling is my thing more because it fits my personality, but to truly obtain a great deal of wealth, you got to hold on to some real estate or whatever. So I'm changing my focus here in the last few months to do that, because through all your marketing and lead generation, you're going to come across a lot of opportunities that can be transitioned over into some owner finance situations, right? Which will eventually allow you to own them if you don't do it at the initial with the initial transaction. And then, at the end of the day, it's all about producing cash flow, income that, and then the asset, in most cases with real estate, it appreciates over time. So you're receiving cash flow from an asset and it's growing in value at the same time. That's the double whammy that you're looking for. That thank you tax breaks that may come along with that. So, but wholesaling still is the main thing, but I'm open and I'm targeting those type of opportunities also. It goes beyond houses with me. I look at commercial opportunities also, multifamily, self-storage are the main two that I target, and some single tenant, triple net stuff also. So,
Awesome.
or just keeping my eyes open. It's just real estate is just so vast, so many ways to make money with it, man. It's just it's just hard to get into other things once you're used to just those large sums of money that you can get into just with one transaction. So, not saying that's the only way to make money, but it just makes it difficult to do other things.
Absolutely. Is it safe to say that even though with many years of experience in real estate, that you yourself are still finding yourself educating yourself in many exit strategies out there?
If the education level of real estate was the just knowing, which I don't think anyone knows everything, was a 10, I still feel like I'm a 2.
Oh, wow. Boom. And I love the honesty right
Yeah.
there. And again, guys, just to let you know, here's the transparency that we're looking for. And I love that. So since wholesaling and now it seems as you're dipping your toes into other aspects of real estate, let's focus on that wholesaling part, your main squeeze there. What types of leads are you looking for or that you've found in your business alone? I know this isn't transition to everybody across the board, but for your business, what type of leads did you guys usually find the best success in?
Well, it's going to be market specific, but at the end of the day, if you find something, let me answer your question first. I'm looking just for cheap stuff, something that's discounted heavily, taking in consideration the repairs and obviously location or whatever. So it doesn't matter to me, A, B, C, D. A neighborhood would be Beverly Hills. A D neighborhood would be, I don't know, I'm just going by what I see on TV, Compton, just to give a reference. And then you can figure out what a C and B are, so whether it's an A neighborhood, which are harder to find in most cases, or versus a D neighborhood, which is plentiful in a lot of cases. So it doesn't really matter to me, the check still will cash the same, no matter what type of deal it is, if you can put it together. But it can be market specific, and then, population has a lot to do with it. What, you're in Orange County or LA County? Where
Yeah, I'm
you
actually in Orange County, so I would
okay.
probably grade this like A, B, maybe
Yeah,
high
yeah.
B.
So the population out there, I know LA County is 10 million. I think Orange County is what, like 4 or 5 million or something ridiculous like that. That's the entire state of Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So so you're
Wow.
you know, yeah, so people like will say, well, there's not any deals and then maybe in LA. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's not possible for it to be oversaturated. It's just not. It's just not, because people are not going to respond the same. Timing is such a huge part of it. I try to preach, especially in these larger markets, especially larger than mine, is that it's just all about being consistent with whatever form of marketing that you're doing. It'll take care. One deal in most cases will take care of everything you probably ever spent, and you just springboard from there. So hopefully I answered the question. I know I can get off
No,
on it.
you did, and you added more to it. That again, it sounds to me you really kind of researched the market, and I think that is a very imperative point because a lot of people do call our customer support line or even me directly and say, hey, what are the best markets? What are the best leads in specific markets? And just as you guys are watching this, you just heard it right straight from someone that's very seasoned that markets are going to differ. And it seems as in each market, there are definitely opportunities, but it seems as consistency is what's going to allow you to take advantage of those opportunities. So I really want to thank you for sharing that. Now, in terms of like real estate and in terms of this situation that we're going that's unprecedented, are you finding any challenges or new opportunities because of this situation that we're faced with?
I really can't tell the difference at this point. I think it's going to be more so just from what I do down the road more so. I was back in '07, '08, that time frame or whatever. And, I was one of those individuals, a lot of people, whereas this is different because this downturn is affecting more people by far, in my opinion, because of the number of job losses. Whereas back then, it really didn't affect a large segment of the population. Most people still went to work, still made the same pay, blah, blah, blah. But I was one of those individuals where my sole business was based on wholesaling and my buyers just disappeared one day, basically. And so, and I wasn't a good steward of my money. I wasn't managing the money. I was making a lot of money, in relative speaking to what I was, used to, but I was spending a lot. So I got caught with my pennies down, So I said that wasn't going to happen again if the opportunity presented myself and I could pick myself back up, which I did, thank God, and move forward. Because I knew it's just real estate. You just have to adjust with it. It's not like it's going away unless they make shelter free. There's always going to be opportunity. You just have to adjust with what's going on, because either one or two things are going to happen with real estate. Either someone is paying rent or they're paying a mortgage, or if they don't owe anything. That's, I guess, three things. So a majority of that, only I think they say a third of the properties in the country, which that's a lot, are free and clear. So that means either somebody's paying rent or paying a mortgage. So, and people are continuously going to move. So that means transactions are going to occur, which means opportunities will be available to you if you position yourself. You have to just adjust with what's happening. Again, unless they make shelter free, they might do that in the next stimulus package.
Boom! I love that.
We
Sure.
would have opportunities, but we know that's not going to happen. I'm just saying.
Correct. And I love that. Now, obviously, I'm going to be real. I'm going to call you out. Did you make the same mistakes this time around?
Oh hell no! I'm sitting back like
Right.
it's like
All right.
it's sort of weird. It's sort of weird because I'm like, just, I don't want to see people go through struggle or whatever, because that's just not how I am. I think most reasonable people don't, but I'm just like excited to see what's going to happen, because I can pay my bills. That's sort of the selfish part of it, but it's just in a position, different mindset, different savings, you know what I'm saying? The different network of people that I know since, then versus now. So it's just like opportunity land, the way I'm looking at it, just like, yeah. If you know anything about people that have money, which I don't consider myself having money by no means, but I mean like people with worth, 50, 100 million or $1 billion, they love these times because normally you can find cheap assets, beyond real estate, whether it's stocks or whatever. You can find cheap a business or someone's trying to sell a business or supplies or, just whatever, materials. Normally you can just find just stuff that's undervalued. And this is where you're supposed to just really get, just paid when blood is on the street, as they say, you buy real estate or whatever. And technically we say blood is on the street when what's happening, not literally blood on the street where people are down like that, but you know what I mean. So
Absolutely.
just opportunity land right now that, it's what I see it. So
And I love that. And if you don't want me asking, what is it that you're doing now? I mean, I do want to focus on that buyer situation that you experienced back in '07, and then here in 2020. We're hearing that quite a bit. We're hearing through the social outlets that that buyers are being more hesitant. Now, again, you mentioned earlier that there's a lot of opportunities depending on the situation, even if the market was a free market and properties didn't have a price value to it. So I want to kind of not necessarily put an end to this myth, this theory that there aren't any more buyers here. So to kind of shed light on that there isn't, what is it that you do, especially in this particular moment where quote unquote buyers are hesitant to vet buyers to make sure that they're going to go through on the transitions that or the transactions that you're presenting them, the contracts that you're presenting them?
well, I think that some of it's market specific also. I think the higher end markets, like out in your area, and the only reason I know this because I have some business partners out there in LA, and the reason our relationship even came about is because their buyers are hesitant out there right now, but the properties are so much more. So I got a closing going on in about 4 minutes. I don't have to be there. I just have to go pick up my money. But our partner, the deal came from some guys from Los Angeles, from that Southern California area, and it's just because they're seeking out. But buyers are really not an issue here or whatever. So and I guess maybe some smaller markets, but comparing back then, the reason buyers didn't exist anymore because they were so heavily dependent on the subprime lending market. And that's what caused everything to collapse. The real estate market basically collapsed because of all the loans that were issued to people that probably shouldn't have gotten those loans or whatever. And a lot of buyers, what they used to do was they would buy with their own cash. Within 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, they would then refi the property out and get 80% of the value. So they would get their money back plus whatever the difference was between what they paid for it to the value of 80%. So just an example, say if they paid $50,000 for a property, but the ARV really is 100 on it, they could get an 80% loan. So they would get their 50 back plus an additional 30. And they just put a renter in it. That was like just bam, they just doing that just constantly. So that went away. So that was a lot of my buyers or whatever. And so also back then in the D neighborhoods, you could get a ham sandwich finance. So a lot of first time homeowners, they were buying properties. Not only was it a strong rental area, but it was also a strong retail area. So that also went away with the subprime market. So because you would have rehabbers that would do rehabs and flips in those areas where they don't really do that now. Back then it was like just gravy, just the best of both worlds because you can get them just really cheap, do the renovations on them and sell them, and you make a substantial profit, and you wouldn't have as much invested because you could be in a $300,000 or $400,000 neighborhood and have that one deal and maybe make 75,000, but you could be in a D neighborhood and buy 4 properties like that and maybe make 125,000 or whatever.
Wow.
So, combined with all properties or whatever. So, so that's the biggest. So we're not even that far down the road where we would even know if that's going to be the situation compared to back then, because what happened back then was because of real estate, it caused the economy to go into a recession. This here was more like a forced recession based on, the COVID-19 situation. So it's different. Real estate didn't have anything to do with this. Now it's going to probably affect real estate in some form or fashion because a lot of people are not working, they're not paying rent, they're not paying a mortgage. At some point, you're not going to be able to just keep asking landlords and mortgage company or lenders to hold off, to hold off, to hold off. It's going to have to start to be some actions taken regardless. So we'll see.
Boom. That I love. You literally painted a very detailed picture on the differences, and exactly, there are opportunities here. It seems as buyers are still out there. I mean, you exactly just proved the point. In the next few minutes, you're going to go end up getting your assignment on one of them. So first off, thank you so much for sharing that information. And just a few more questions on the real estate before we transition into, kind of wrapping this all up. But have you noticed any challenges or opportunities, mainly challenges, in any other aspects of real estate, like rehabs? Are those taking longer? I'm not sure if you use like lenders or hard money lenders, but are you seeing any challenges on that end or any potential opportunities that may have arisen because of the situation?
Um, Again, it hasn't been that far along in the along what's going on. We're only about 2 months in right now. Matter of fact, I know it's exactly 2 months in because I just looked at a text I had sent a friend back on March 8th when Rudy Gobert with the Utah Jazz left the game, and that's really when it all just went downhill after
Right.
that.
Absolutely. I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
that was March 8th. So that's 2 months a date. So the day of this video is May 5th, 14th. So we're only 2 minutes in. The only difference is that, again, the guys from California reaching out to them and say, hey, we want to do some business. So that's the only thing that I can see that's different, that, I was sought out that way through my Instagram account or whatever. So right now, but I'm sure it's going to change. It's going to be more obvious as time goes on, how it's affected. Right now, I can't tell you. I wish I could.
Oh, perfect. Well, again, yeah, I don't expect anybody to have a crystal ball to kind of see
Yeah,
what's
we would be in a different
foreshadowing.
business.
Absolutely. But I do like, again, love to hear the opinions and again, even the theories that you might
Yeah.
have because of just the vast knowledge and the experience that you've faced throughout the last plus 10 years of investing. So to wrap it all up, now that we've pretty much know who you are, we understand, the real estate side of your business, and thanks for sharing some amazing gems with us so far. I'm going to let you wrap it up by pretty much handing the mic to you. So one thing I would like to pretty much like to hear from you, any last words, any last advice, suggestions to give not just the seasoned investors, those that are in the same boat as you, but for those that maybe are in the mid tier. And when I say mid tier, I'm talking about maybe someone that's doing 2-3 deals a month, as well as those that are watching this and they're you. Many years ago, they see that real estate could be a career opportunity or a generational change to their family name. So, what advice, suggestions, opinions would you give to, again, the new audiences, the mid-level, and the seasoned investors?
Oh, wow. It's someone that's, if you're looking for something to, money doesn't make you happy. Let's establish that, in my opinion. But it's not everything, but it deals with everything from church to crime and everything in between. But if you're looking for something uh, to change your financial situation, to help maybe possibly improve your situation financially, real estate is one of the, I don't want to use the word easy, I guess simple ways to change that and change it quickly, just quickly. And it all starts with just educating yourself. Now, I'm not the only game in town by no means, but just to toot my own horn, I like to see someone that has more free content on getting started with virtually zero to start making, picking up 4 and 5 figure checks, and some market 6-figure checks. Oh, and it's just the thimble to get started on a large, I guess, stack of needles or whatever with real estate, man. It just can just change the situation very quickly. So educate yourself, to give yourself the best chance to succeed. You're a long way in the process by simply knowing what to do and not trying to half-ass it or whatever. I mean, I'm speaking this particular to my videos. They're not in any certain order on YouTube. It's over 400, almost 500 now, but it's all there. And it's all there over and over again in layers, because I've been putting those videos out not since August of 2008. So the date of this video, so 11 plus years. It's all there. Me spilling my guts on what I know about the business. It's changed a lot of people's lives financially, and it's just all for free. And I'd never even talked to them before. I just received a text message, someone sending a picture of a check saying thank you. So you can do the same. If I have to advise anyone on just wanting to change the situation. Now, if you're already in the game, then it's just expanding on other stuff. There's so many other opportunities out there with real estate, from beyond wholesaling to owner financing. I'm just talking like creative ways of doing it. Definitely with the commercial side of it, should be a lot of opportunities out there for that. So just educate yourself and take action. The knowledge is great, but it's worthless if you don't take action.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So guys, you heard it. Make sure you're continuously to educate yourself and study, 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 right? This is something that we're going to be doing. I hope you're going to be doing for a long, long time, and hopefully changing that family tree of yours. Tyrone, you did mention it a little bit in your 2-minute spiel there. And I just want to shed more light on it. So if I did go on YouTube, how can I find you? Do I type in Flipman?
Yeah. Yeah, if you just type in Flip Man, you can find me there. The actual channel name is Ask Flip Man. That's the handle that I use. Ask Flip Man on YouTube, obviously Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So,
awesome. Well, you guys heard it. So make sure you guys visit and get that. Again, as you mentioned, free content, very great content. That's for me personally. I'm a subscriber to his content. I've learned quite a bit. And what I also like is you also bring in some of your followers, and they provide testimonials on the stuff that they've learned through you. And so that's what's very unique, and I absolutely love about you. So again, Flipman, Mr. Tyrone Taylor, thank you so much for giving us this valuable time of yours and sharing your knowledge and just sharing a little bit about you to our PropStream audience. Is it okay if maybe we follow up with you in a few months and just see where
oh
this
yeah,
leads?
most definitely.
All right.
Anytime,
Well, my friend,
man.
you stay safe and healthy. And for those that are watching, this is another episode of PropStream Pro Series. Thank you so much.
Thank you.